I've been working on my planner for 2015. Were y'all wondering if I was going to do one? So was I. This is the one I did for 2014, which I enjoyed. And when I did this, it was sort of an experiment because I didn't really feel like I needed a planner, but then I felt all left out because everybody's working on their planners and there's all these planner videos and it was fun and I didn't want to be left out. So I made one and I did the documented life thing in it, which I'm actually still doing because I do it sporadically when I feel like it. And here's what I learned. I learned through this process last year that, as you can see, my planner is really more art than it is planning. It really kind of confirmed for me that I don't necessarily need a planner. I'm at the point in my life where I'm just simplified and I don't have a lot of appointments and stress. You know, my kids are grown, I'm retired, so I don't have a need to do a lot of heavy planning like I used to, and I did used to. I really need something very pared down for me. This is too much. It's great for an art journal, but not for a planner. I don't need a planner like this. I need something small, something simple. I knew what I wanted. I've been looking for the last several months trying to find something already made that would suit my needs, and I have not been able to find anything. There are some printouts that I could do to, you know, assemble one myself, so I thought about that. But here's what I ended up doing. I'm going to show you what I've done, and you can kind of take the general idea and adapt it for your needs if you'd like to. This will work not just for a planner, but for any kind of a journal, junk journal, handmade book. Here's the thing. Here's what I needed in my planner. I don't need daily pages. You know, I don't need that. I don't have time to plan and write stuff every day in addition to my regular, you know, journaling and art journaling and stuff that I do. I don't need that. I need one planner. I don't need dozens of planners. And I know some of y'all use many, many planners for many different reasons, and I think that's awesome. You know, if it works for you, do it. Go for it. More power to you. That doesn't work for me. It's not what I need. It's not what I want. I just need one. I need one effective planner. I need it to be small enough that I can throw it into my purse and it doesn't take up a bunch of room, but I need it to have enough writing space that I can make good use of it when I need to. I don't always need to, you know. I don't have a lot of plans these days, but when I do, I need to have space to write stuff. I knew that I wanted something that had, I don't need daily pages, but I did want a good monthly layout in addition to a smaller section of weekly pages. This was hard to find because usually, you know, planners that have both monthly and weekly, you have a section here that's the month pages and a section here that's the week pages, or you have, you know, the month and then behind that you have the week pages. And no, what I wanted was to be able to look at my month and my weeks at the same time. I was not finding that. So I came up with this idea, and like I said, you can use some printouts for this if you want to make this a little easier. You know, I, as we all know, like to make it just as difficult as possible, so I'm starting from scratch. And here's what I think is going to work for me. These are the 12, these are going to be the signatures in my junk planner, is kind of what I'm calling it, and one for each month. And what I've done, I used paper that I had on hand. It's a junk journal format type thing. Mostly these journal pages, you know. Now I'm going to confuse a bunch of people. These are for bookkeeping journaling, ledger sheets. Let's call them ledger sheets. I've been using these ledger sheets and some graph paper. And what I did was I have one ledger sheet, as this will have the month laid out on it. Let's just call this January. I'll have my January calendar right here. And then over here, these are the same ledger pages with some graph paper and some other pages cut down, and they're actually just glued on. I have a little pocket area right there, glued right there, but sewed together. Okay, I'm confusing you, I know, but I'll show you. Anyway, this is where my weekly pages will be. And for each month, this will be week 1, and I'll have a section for each day of the week. And then here's week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5. You do need 5. I know there's 4 weeks in a month, but if you print out a calendar of the year, you know that 4 weeks in a month only works if the week starts on Sunday or at the beginning. Then you get 4. But if your week starts on any other day, see, like on January, the month starts on Thursday, so you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You need room for 5 weeks, not 4. So that's why that's why there's that many pages in there, not just for 4. So this way I can open up, I can have my week layout right here and my monthly layout right here, so I can see them all at the same time. And that is what I wanted. So this is what I have put together for that. Okay, I'll show you more details about what I did. This may be a little confusing if you don't have this exact same paper, because I really used the paper. It played a big part in this, but you can make it work. You can make adjustments, and it'll work for you. I can get a whole year of monthly pages and weekly pages on 30 sheets of paper. Okay, so you need 30 sheets of paper. These are all regular 8.5 by 11. You're going to need 12 for the months, 1 for each month. And I used this particular, it was on a pad, and I've had it for eons. And I suppose you could still buy these at the office supply if you were so inclined, but I would encourage you just to use what you've got, because that's what I did. But this just happened to have 7 columns all the way across. And how could I not use it? 1 for each day of the week, already right there. So that was really the only reason why I chose to go this way. But I ended up really liking it. So I needed 12 of these, 1 for each month. And then I needed 18 sheets for the inserts. So what this is I used one of these. I had this one is just a little bit different, and then this is just a graph paper. And the graph paper and this ledger paper are two-sided. This one with the 7 columns that I like is one-sided, oddly enough. So it ended up working out fine, because that means that it doesn't have the pattern on the back side, which worked out good. But what I did is, for each one of the weekly page little bundles here, little signatures, I took one of each of these 3 different kinds of paper, cut them in half this way. So I ended up with this, right? And then take one of each of the halves, fold it, that's not what I did, this one went on the outside. Fold it in half, and then there's my weekly pages that go with my monthly sheet. So I've got my monthly sheet here, my weekly pages here, and it takes 18 sheets of paper to do that, and you'll end up with 3 pages in each one, because you cut them in half, So folded this in half. I went in my art room and just ran these through my sewing machine, just a straight stitch right down the middle. I never quite hit the center on any of them, but that's okay. Close enough. If you have a long arm stapler that will reach, you can do that. You can stitch them if you're a crazy person and want to go through all that trouble. You know, whatever. Tape them together, just get them together somehow. Then I took my ATG gun and I put some adhesive here, here, and here and just glued them down like that on my page. And that left a little space right here for just a little slot where I can tuck receipts or tickets or something. So left a little bit of a pocket right there. So I folded it. I didn't measure anything. I just eyeballed it. You're going to want to know what it measures, aren't you? I know, y'all. Okay. Let's measure it. I folded it at about 4 inches and at about 7 3/4. Okay? So 4 inches from the left and then 7 3/4 from the left. And that way, when you fold it up, you fold it this way, you fold it this way, and it doesn't quite go all the way to the edge. It leaves a little bit. And I wanted that because these are going to be bound on this edge. And you know, you don't want folded papers up right next to the binding. You want to give them a little bit of space. So, there we go. You with me? And making these this size leaves plenty of room right here for my monthly calendar, which I haven't really figured out exactly how I'm going to do that, but it's probably going to look something like this. So that way, when I open it up, see, this will be glued down here, I can see my entire month right there, and then I can open this up for my different weekly pages. Okay? So that is my plan for my planner for people with no plans. Now, that's all there is to it for the inserts. Now, of course, I'm going to have to go in and draw the lines and all of that. And you know what? I'm going to freehand it, and I'm going to make them kind of squiggly and messy on purpose. That's what I did on my last one. And if you do that, you know, then it's okay. If you try to make perfectly straight lines and you get them squiggly, then, you know, that's like a mistake. But if they're all squiggly on purpose, then it's a technique, and you're okay. You go with it. So that's what I'm going to do later. Right now, I'm still working on the construction. Here's where I am. I've got all my 12 months all ready to go, and now I need to put them into some kind of book form, right? What I want to do, I think, is do an accordion binding. Where's my prototype? You know, I always do. Here we go. This was just scrap paper that I played with. I just took some scrap paper, did an accordion fold on it, taped, you know, pretended like these were my signatures, and taped a couple of them in there to see how that would work. And I think it's going to work out really well because I can open it out like this, and you know, if I'm going to have 12, so it's going to open out, and if I do that, then I can have all of my, you know, my whole year kind of laid out to where it's easy to flip through. This is the idea I have in my head anyway. You know, whether or not that's actually going to pan out, I don't know, but my prototype says that it should. So my next step now is to work on that binding. The thing about it is, the binding, the accordion structure is, it's really kind of part of the overall design of the book. It's going to show. You know, it's not going to be hidden. It's not going to have wraparound covers, I don't think. Like I said, I haven't gotten that far. So it's going to show. So I wanted it to be kind of pretty, right? So I think what I'm going to use is some of my hand-painted papers, and these were out of a magazine or a catalog that, you know, it had a staple binding, and you just pull the staples out and you get these nice big sheets, right? So here's a couple of them that I had painted. They're just glossy magazine paper. This is not nearly sturdy enough to bind, to use as a book binding. You know, they will tear up really easily. So what I'm going to try to do is, I've got this scrap of a bed sheet, and I'm going to cut it to fit in between here, and I'm going to use some Wonder Under to just sandwich that in between these, you know, where it doesn't show, and then that way it will be really sturdy. It's going to be lightweight and very flimsy, which is what I want. I want this to be, you know, this is going to be a paperback planner, not a sturdy hardback planner. But with the fabric in the middle, it will be much more sturdy and less prone to tearing through. So that's where I'm at right now. I've got my iron heated up, and I just need to cut this down to fit. And these are going to have to be cut down, but I'm going to fuse the fabric first. Okay. And then I need a piece of, this is Wonder Under fusible webbing. It's also sometimes called Heat and Bond. There's all different brands and names for it, but it's the adhesive stuff that you use with an iron. So I'm going to cut me a piece to fit. Actually, I'm going to need two. This Wonder Under is also going to give some weight and stability to the pages, so this is a good thing. Now what I'm going to do is, this has kind of a scratchy side and a smooth side. This scratchy side is the adhesive, so I want it face down, because the adhesive is going to stick to the paper. And I'm going to run my iron along the smooth side to melt it down. Iron is over here. Okay, let that cool down a little bit. And then we're going to try to lift up the corner of the paper and peel it off. Okay, I think I got all the paper off. Now, this is kind of rough and weird because it's got the adhesive on there. So I want to put my sheet piece on top like that, and then iron it down good. Okay. Make sure I'm not melting anything on the back. I think we're good. Alright, now I'm going to take my second piece, scratchy side down again, just like that, and iron it down. This will come off easier if you actually wait until it cools and, you know, you do it right. But okay, did I get it all? I think I did. Alright, now we take our other piece of paper and common sense is saying, stop, Shannon, stop. So I'm going to listen to it. And I'm going to put some scrap paper over the top, just in case something decides to melt on my iron. Okay, yeah, see, this is fine because I'm probably going to end up cutting that off. And if I don't, I will just go back in with regular glue and glue any loose pieces down. But what I was mainly concerned about was this middle part where I'm going to be putting my signatures. And this made it quite a bit heavier, sturdier. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about this falling apart or pulling through. And it is nice and flexible. I think this is going to work.